So kind of been Christ, this is a really great video, truly grouping. I've kind of been having a bit of a realised that I've sort of had basically PTSD from the last 2 years of hell. Just Kalman syndrome diagnosis, growth hormone deficiency diagnosis, and now got potentially sleep apnea, and being stalked by Nazis. Lots of horrible shit. And effectively, I basically reached a point of just being like, survive. Just survive. And I am surviving. But I'm kind of one of these people that, like, survival in and of itself isn't enough. Hedonism isn't enough. And yeah, I'm doing this writing, and I'm gonna write this thing, and it's gonna be out there, and nobody's gonna give a fuck. And also, like, I'm very consciously aware that I'm a white male. I'm a white cisgendered middle class English man. So therefore, even if I wasn't the kind of writer who says, fuck it, I'm gonna write a story about a woman being shrunk and kept as a pet. Even if I wasn't the kind of writer who finds himself writing in submissive women, even into the short stories that are supposed to be pseudo-feminist, right? Even if I could find a way to graft and draft and cut away the bullshit after I've written it to make something truly feminist, I'd still fundamentally be a white, cisgendered, middle-class Englishman in a job where there are so many other people who could be doing that job. And the thing is that because other people get to be selfish fucks because their emotions aren't so overpowering that they can act from an emotional point of view, right? They can be emotionally reactive, they can be greedy and what have you in a way like that. They don't get trapped in moral quandaries like I do because I can't emotionally fucking react in that way because my emotions are so fucking powerful that I have to sort of lock them away and say, no, we do not base our decisions on these, right? I don't base my morality on, but they hurt me, so I will do bad things. But they hurt someone I care about, so I'll do bad things. I don't do that. I can't do that because I cannot let myself be driven by these emotions that are so much potent, so much more potent than everybody else's, or at least most neurotypical people's. I mean, I don't have anxiety But the reason I don't have anxiety is I keep the emotions off to the side and I don't fucking listen to them. And so instead, I am having to look at the world and sort of morally, logically define things, right? And sort of, and so this is how I get trapped in terms of, like, other people can just say, well, I need a job, and so I'm just going to do what I need to do to get the job. And then once I've got a job, well, I'll use what money I can to live as good a life as I can. And, other people don't have to think about, well, if I take this job, what I am taking it from somebody else, and like, because they have the luxury of not thinking logically about what they're going to do. They can think from an emotion-centric point of view of saying, bad people hurt me, hurt people I care about. Bad people. They can think emotionally. But I like that. That makes me happy. I want to do more of the thing that makes me happy. Whereas I have, like, emotions as this sort of guide, as just like, oh yeah, that's making me sad, so maybe I want to consider, do I want to continue doing that? Yeah, that's making me angry. Probably shouldn't keep doing that then. Right. Hey, happy thing. Probably a good idea to keep doing happy thing, but it's kind of off to the side. It's kind of, it's sort of like the psychological equivalent of, like, having a notifications in the dashboard, right? It's there. I can look at it. I can say, oh, that's right. Yeah, that's the thing. I should probably do something about. But it's not steering things directly. I'm looking at it and I'm taking it on board, and then I'm thinking things through myself. And so as a result, I'm thinking, like, well, what can I do? And the thing is that, like, I can't not think about the bigger picture here, right? All of you right-wing people who are saying, just get a job, just go to the gym, oh, you lazy fuckwit, you are so lucky that you get to be so fucking simple-minded about this. Right? You are so lucky that you don't have to think about the extrapolation. All these right-wing people, and actually fucking left-wing people as well, who are like, but there will always be jobs. Right? You are so fucking lucky that you get to be so thick about this. Because it's like, well, you see, it's this job's going to be really hard to get rid of. Like, you will always need people to fix the machines. Yeah. And when the machine that one person is fixing does the jobs of 500 people, like, that's going to remove so many jobs from the economy. There is then going to be less money circulating in the economy. Therefore, businesses are going to go bust. Therefore, there's going to be less jobs, hiring people, less money in the economy. Like, I can't not think logically about this shit and just being like, I can't just go, but hope. But look, jobs exist, jobs. Because I think, no, logically, yeah, you might have one guy who can still get a job at Google, right? But Google is doing, like, it has automated away so many other jobs that it's, like, irrelevant. Yeah, there will be a job. There will be 10 jobs, 100 jobs, 1,000 jobs. 7 billion people in the world, right? And it's like, oh, well, some of them will die off. Yeah, still 7 fucking billion people, right? Like, let's assume something truly drastic happens, right? Something truly fucking drastic happens, like, you know, fascism takes over, great wars break out, you know, the anti-vaxxer movement causes great devastation, right? You slash it to 3.5 billion people in the world, right? Horrible, horrible, horrible thing to happen. Still, at a certain point, going to be more people than there are jobs, because the nature of machines, the nature of automation is you don't need as many people doing the jobs, right? So, like, literally the only way this kind of fucked up but jobs will still exist mentality could ever possibly work is if we literally decided to just pay people enough money that they could buy enough product to keep everybody working, right? We're just literally removing the point of why people automate, right? The whole point of automating is profit, is to reduce the zero marginal cost, is to make it so that there are less and less paid hours going into the manufacturing of a product so that you make more profit from that product, so therefore there is less work needed to make the products, therefore there isn't gonna be enough fucking jobs for people. There isn't enough fucking jobs for people, right? Like, even if think this shit through, right? Or rather don't, because clearly I'm thinking this shit through and it's paralyzed me. Because the one thing that I can sort of do well is writing. Right? It's the one thing I can sort of do well, and by my own standards, by my own sort of moral and philosophical and political standards, I'm not a good writer, right? And I shouldn't be paid over somebody else. Like, if you were going to offer me a job, my like dream job, my like dream job as a writer, and then you also said, oh, but by the way, if you turn this down, we'll be hiring, you know, a woman or a trans person or a black person or a fucking Muslim to take over instead, then I'd just go, yeah, sorry, I can't do it then, right? Because any one of those would be far better for society and culture as a whole than me. It doesn't even matter if they're good as a writer. I could be objectively so many times better than the trans person who was hypothetically put up to take over from me, and I'd still be like, no, their voice is needed more in the world of, you know, fiction publishing than mine is. So no, I'm not gonna accept because you need to hire them, right? And so it's like, okay, well, entry-level jobs that I can do. I like administration. I can just work on databases. Brilliant. A job that is perfectly suited for automation. That's a job with a nice, strong, secure future. And at the same time, if you're also, like, Stalked by Nazis. Stalked by Nazis. So I have to not make videos. Because I don't want my family attacked. I don't want my friends attacked. I don't want people I respect attacked out of fuckwits trying to get my attention for attacking the people I respect. Right? So I'm fucked. Right? I can survive. I am surviving. But surviving isn't enough. Right? I want something that I can do and that I can do well, and that makes a fucking positive difference to the world. And pretty much, like, the one thing that I can do, the two things that I can do are, you know, one, right, but that doesn't make a positive difference, that makes a negative difference to the world, except through maybe making some poor fetishistic bastards feel a little happier. And at the same time, you know, the other thing that I can maybe do, and even that's gross overstatement, is these sorts of videos, right? And it's like, well, I can do them because here, you know, the very fact that I am a problematic, cisgendered, white, middle-class English guy actually kind of is good, right? In the sense that it's like, yes, I can take the heat. I can stand there I can stand there on the front lines, and I can give my lectures about how technological automation is a serious problem, and about how conservatism as a political movement is actually failing because it is not conserving anything and it is not helping the economy. I can give lectures on how actually, you know, if you want to save capitalism, you need regulation, because you need, in order to have a free market, you need to have people policing that market so that there are not monopolies, right? You know, in the same way that, you know, we criticize communism for, dudes, the greedy bastards are just going to take advantage of your goodwill, we should be having a go at the right wing for thinking naively that, you know, if they have this sort of meritocracy of Darwinism, of the free markets, that greedy bastards are not just gonna go to the top and take advantage and do nothing and not help anyone. Like, the point of capitalism is to acknowledge that everybody is greedy and selfish and flawed and lazy and fucking awful. And the way that you incentivize people is by giving them just enough freedom and just enough power and just enough education and money that they will chase and climb and compete in order to get a little bit of an edge. But the only way they are going to continue to compete and climb and keep advancing society is if they have a reason to compete. Is if you get rid of the fucking top dogs, the alpha predators who are going around killing off the opposition, right? You need to handicap the winners of the great capitalistic game so that you have competition again, right? I can give these lectures, I can talk about how actually, yeah, it's fucking wrong to discriminate, and I can do all of this stuff because fuck it, I'm a white man, I don't fucking matter, right? I'm a cisgendered fucking white English middle class guy. Fuck me. Right? Problem is, I'm not surrounded by cisgendered middle class English guys. I'm surrounded by a lot of people who I don't want getting hurt and who I care about and who people are horrible and they will try to hurt. And so it's just like, well, fuck then. What am I to do? Right? Because I feel like I'm in this impossible fucking situation where it's just like I can't get a job because if I get a job, I'm denying someone who's fucking better than me and deserves a chance better than me, and just I don't deserve it. I can't do the thing I would love to do, which is writing, because I would be just the worst person to do writing, and I genuinely don't think that cisgendered white guys should be writing fiction. Right? I mean, yes, I am bisexual, but I basically have all the problems of a heterosexual writer. Right? Yeah, I write about men too. It's not doesn't change the fact that I'm a problematic fucking writer, so I can't be a writer. So okay, well then I shall stand on the ramparts and I shall shout out to the world about how all the things that these fuckwits do are wrong. Except I can't do that either because that'll get people hurt. So I'll claim benefits and just survive. Except I can't just claim benefits because because yeah, that's according to people and actually to my own pride, it's like, well, no, you're claiming money from the government to live. What are you doing with it? And it's like, well, basically what I'm doing is not dying so I can spare the people who care about me grief. Right? That's that's it. It's just at this point I am living because there would be fallout. Right? Because I don't want people to be upset. Right? I mean, there are things I enjoy about life, stuff like that. I'm not just living for other people in that kind of sense, but it's genuinely like there is this whole big moral sort of logical calculation going on in my head of like, what can I do? Well, I can't die because that'll piss people off and upset people, and I don't want that to happen. Well, what am I good at? Well, I can't write because even I don't think I want me to be writing because that just wouldn't be a good idea. Like, even if I could get a job writing, even if I could beat back my own demons, I don't think that that, that I should be writing. I think that somebody else should be writing instead. Okay, well, I'll get it. Well, in that case, I will speak out against the injustices in the world. Except I can't, because if I do that, then the people who are in favour of injustices in the world will attack me, and they will come after my friends and my family and the people I respect, and so I can't do that either. Okay, well, I'll try and get a job. Except I can't do that because you fuck the economy and you're fucking the economy and you're just fucking the economy worse and worse and worse. So yeah, I guess basically at this point, my grand holy job, my grand mission for which I exist, is basically to vote wisely, right? Like this is my whole thing. This is my whole raison d'etre. Like, what can I do? What is my purpose in life as an individual who tries to do things morally from a sort of logical, pseudo-objective standpoint? Well, I can vote. I can stay out of people's way. I can enjoy myself without bothering other people, and I can vote. And maybe ever so slightly in a teeny tiny fucking way make a difference. I mean, okay, I live in a fucking Tory safe seat and I'm a Labour voter, so yeah, I don't really make a difference. Life is meaningless. Life is meaningless, and I wish it had meaning, but it doesn't. Not for me, because I can't see a way to achieve the meaning. But hey, at least pretty girls still exist. At least microphilia fiction is still a thing. At least submissive women are still a thing. At least I can still enjoy myself as a writer of problematic fiction. At least there is Diet Coke. At least there are mints. At least there is walking and listening to podcasts and eating a well-prepared meal. At least there is music and prettiness and sunshine and cool breezes and the rain in a storm. At least there's poetry. I mean, I don't mean actual poetry. I can't stand fucking poetry. It's actual poetry, but the poetry of the world and life and beauty. And basically what I'm saying is I'm living now to be a pretentious asshole. I feel like if I did end up deleting my YouTube channel, that would be a fair enough endpoint for it. Oh god. Oh god. I mean, I'm listening to the Cracked podcast and the Kurt Vonnegut's podcast and Kurt Vonnegut's interesting, but also like I'm realizing that I am not alone in being a sci-fi writer who sucks at being women. And yes, I am not alone in being a sci-fi writer who sucks at being many different kinds of female. But writing women. Yeah, I mean, I know that we do live in enlightened and futuristic and progressive times. I don't think we're quite at the point of people being able to become multiple people yet. You know, like, and I don't mean in a people have conditions sort of way. I mean in a literally like dividing and becoming, you know, a five-part girl band of one individual in 5 different bodies. We're not quite at that level of technology yet. Although that sounds like the kind of sci-fi novel, well, sci-fi short story that I could write. But yeah, I'm listening to the Farscape Friday podcast, the School of Movies podcast. I'm having fun and I'm being happy. I just am also continually trying to be like, is there more to life? Can I do stuff? Can I make a difference? And the answer is always just nope. So yeah. I've been Alex Jahans. This has been the grand spectrums of time and indeed the metaverse. And frankly, you can fuck off and go rot in hell. But that's okay because that's reality, folks. I have now ascended to a life of living to be a pretentious, problematic fuckwit. So, yeah, there we go. I'm going to hell. Thank you for watching my main channel. Please remember to leave a like, favourite and comment. Shout out to the dislike club. Subscribe if you like what you saw and share if you know someone who might be interested in the contents of this video. If you would like to help ensure more videos get made, there are a few options available to you. You can whitelist this channel in your adblock software to ensure what ad revenue you provide has a chance of making its way to me. If you sign up to make a regular monthly donation through my Patreon, then you will get to watch a selection of videos available exclusively to my Patreon supporters over at my Patreon page. One-off donations are payable through PayPal, or if that doesn't suit your sensibilities, you can gift items through Steam or Amazon via my public wish lists. Obviously, I don't expect anything, and the vast majority of my videos will remain free and ad-supported. All that remains is to say Trump should be impeached, the genocidal must be stopped, and institute universal basic income now.